Take it away.
All right. Before we get rolling, we have a special guest joining us. We're honored to have Kentucky State Treasurer Mark H. Metcalf with us for a few minutes. Treasurer, thank you for being.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Yes. Let's start with the basics. A lot of folks have never heard of the Unclaimed Property Program. What is it, and how does everyday money go missing in the first?
Unclaimed money goes missing just like you lose your keys sometimes, or you forget to lock your doors. Unclaimed money, unclaimed property includes not only cash, it includes bullion. We're holding bullion. We're holding jewelry and precious metals in addition to, let's say, in addition to silver bars that we are holding. And all of this very secure under lock and key. Unclaimed property is the deposit your college graduate made with a landlord but forgot to collect before they moved back home to a job. It is overpaid insurance premiums, unclaimed death benefits from an insurance policy. It could be an uncashed paycheck that we come into possession of as unclaimed property. The expression that it escheats to the state is an accurate use of the word, but Kentucky does not believe in owning other people's property. So no escheats are permanent, and we try to get property back as quickly as possible to those who own it. So we have a very, what we call lean forward type program. The unclaimed property that we're talking about today that was mentioned, $11.3 million, we're going to be hosting a roadshow at the Government Center in Elizabethtown on Friday from 10 until 1 p.m. That's an opportunity for Hardin Countyans to come visit us. We'll look at their claims. We'll help them make their claims, and then we will very promptly get their money back to them. That's it in a nutshell. But presently, we're managing, in round numbers, $1.2 billion of Kentuckians' money.
I can vouch for this personally too. A year or two ago, I was telling you, when we were talking yesterday, I searched the site and found about $1,500 I had no idea existed. But Treasurer, my number is nothing next to some of yours. Tell folks about the biggest return you've been part of.
Well, I personally facilitated the return of $1.7 million from an estate, a man who passed away in Garrett County. We knew nothing of his ownership of this property. It wasn't included in his estate, and the way we obtained it was we were noticed by his brokerage that there were accounts that had gone dormant, and after 3 years, they sent to us the money. I called the family after I realized the identity of the person. I knew the family personally, and I told them that this asset was not included in their loved one's asset. In a period of about a month, 5 weeks, we returned to them $1.7 million. How did this happen? He would frequently brag in a nice way that he could live on $2,000 a month. What he wasn't telling his family was that he was saving his Social Security and his retirement income into several brokerage accounts. He was managing those accounts not on a home computer, a laptop, desktop. He was actually managing them at the Garrett County Public Library. He did not save the password, so no one knew to look for this property. And even if they knew, they couldn't have access to his accounts because they didn't have the passwords. The result was that we were holding $1.7 million, which we returned earlier this year. That's the biggest amount that I have personally been involved in return.
That is quite the claim. And here's the number that got our attention: $11.3 million sitting unclaimed in Hardin County. Is that right?
That's right. That's in a round figure. It probably is a little bit more, but yes.
All right. So this Friday, July 24th, your team sets up right here, Hardin County Government Center, 150 North Provident Way, third floor conference room, 10 a.m. to 1. What should people bring, and can they actually claim on the spot?
They can actually claim on the spot. Now, we will not be writing checks on the spot. We always validate claims. We make certain that the claimant is who they say they are. And if it's an estate, we make certain that they are a beneficiary of the estate. If we're talking about a person who died without a will, we certainly want to make certain that the court has recognized the claimant as a beneficiary at law, an heir at law. We have a lot of protocols that we follow, and despite checking all these blocks, we generally speaking get money back very quickly to the claimants. But to answer your question, we will try to provide them guidance that will enable them to get their money back very quickly, regardless of whether they apply online or they meet us at Government Center.
All right. And if you can't make it Friday, you kind of already answered it. You can still check right now from your phone, right? Walk us through.
You certainly can. Let's do this. For those who are listening, go to your handheld, go to your laptop, your desktop, and in your search bar, type in treasury.ky.gov. Treasury.ky.gov.
I
You'll
have it on
get
the
to
screen
our
as well for you.
you'll get to our website, and you will see on the left-hand side a plus sign. Click the plus sign, and now click Search for Unclaimed Property, which is at the top of the left-hand column. Now you're in our website for searching for unclaimed property. On the bottom line, type in Elizabethtown. On the middle line, type in your first name. And on the top line, type in your last name. And then click Search Property. It's that simple. That user friendly, and we've made it even friendlier since we took over, and we're very proud of our accomplishments in terms of making everything a bit more user friendly than it was.
All right.
Now, you're going to find that you either have property or you don't. If you have property, what will happen is the screen will alert you by showing you we're managing for you. The ranges are $10 or less, $10 to $100, and $100 and more. We do not publish online what you're entitled to because that encourages theft. It encourages fraud and impersonation. Once we know that you are who you say you are, that you have a right to the money, we discuss in specifics, right down to the cent, what we owe you.
All right. Yeah, and I tried that again yesterday, found a few more bucks. It worked pretty easy. Pretty nice system, actually. I give you guys a lot of credit for working on that. I think it's better than it used to be.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do too.
Yes. One more thing you told me about that I think people should hear. The Unclaimed Property Fund can now be used to collect unpaid child support and criminal restitution. How does that work?
Well, I was a prosecutor and a judge for 30 years. I come to this job as having been a private practitioner, assistant Commonwealth's attorney, and an elected county attorney. The result of that experience is that we had a fund called the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund. It has $1.2 billion in it, and we've opened the fund up to claims for unpaid child support or delinquent child support, and also restitution or criminal restitution. We do that by asking the claimant, let's say the mom who hasn't received her child support, we ask them on their own, check the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund database, which we've just done. If you find the name of the person who owes you the money, take it to your county attorney who has represented you or still represents you, and they will get in touch with the Attorney General's office. This is all very user friendly. There's the Division of Child Support Enforcement they're going to tell us the payor. In other words, the person who owes the money, the payee, the person who's supposed to receive it, and how much is due after all setups. So all the past child support that was paid has been subtracted. We've got a good number to work with. Once we have that, the Unclaimed Property, the Division of Child Support Enforcement contacts our Division of Unclaimed Property, the Unclaimed Property Trust Fund, and we find the money. And we send a check to the Division of Child Support Enforcement, and they process the payment back to the recipient. Now, what I've described to you may sound like a lot of steps, a lot of blocks to check. It actually is very simple, happens very quickly, and we're very proud of the system we've set up. We've also done the same thing for restitution, criminal restitution. Recently, a $5.2 million fraud judgment was handed down in the Eastern District of Kentucky. That's the federal district in Lexington. The courts contacted us. They found that $40,000 was in our accounts that belonged to the fraudster, but not anymore. We set off against that judgment by sending to the courts $40,000, which was then distributed to the people who've been defrauded of their money. We also are collecting court costs, fines, and restitution. So it's the same thing that we would do as a county attorney, we're now doing as the state treasurer's office.
That's good information to know. So I know we covered a lot of information there, and the message is pretty simple. It costs nothing to check. There's 11.3 million waiting right here in Hardin County, and the team will be at the Government Center this Friday, 10 to 1. Let me back up for you guys so you can see Hardin County Government, Friday, July 4th, 10 a.m., 1 p.m. If you can't make it, search anytime at treasury.ky.gov. Treasurer Metcalf, really appreciate you coming. Is there anything else that you wanted to say before hop off?
Well, first of all, thank you again for having me. We are an accessible, available office. I try to run this office the same way I did when I was county attorney in Garrett County. I never left the office if there were people waiting to see me in the lobby. We still conduct business that way. And the other thing to add is last Christmas, we were having our Christmas luncheon. But there were people who came into the office who needed to be waited on. They had a claim they wanted satisfied. My unclaimed property staff was having lunch. My wife and I went out to the lobby. We greeted them. We brought them a soft drink and gingerbread while we waited for the staff to finish lunch. We visited with them. We saw them 3 months later at a restaurant in Lexington. They remembered us and they came up to thank us. That's for waiting on them. So that's the kind of office we run, and we intend to do that as long as we serve the people of Kentucky.
All right. Treasurer Metcalf, well, we thank you for making a Hardin County stop, and we do appreciate the work you're doing. It's important. And
thank you. It's an honor.
If you ever need to come back and share anything with us, just let us know. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
I have to speak to how simple the site was. I just did it while we were listening, and several $100s that was mine that I had no idea about. So, and I cashed it all out and it's being mailed to me. So super cool. Thank you. That 11 million, that's crazy. I sent that link out to everybody I loved and told them to get on there right away and check. So go check, folks. Tell us in the comments what you find.